All right, we're working hard this week on figuring out how to prove that two triangles are, in fact, congruent. As we started this chapter, we started with the fact that CPCTC is true, which is that if the two triangles are congruent, then all the corresponding parts will be congruent. So you can use that to prove the triangles are congruent, but that would require you to, like it says in this first bullet up here, prove all the corresponding sides and angles, which means three pairs of sides and three pairs of angles. That's a lot of work to do. So this week what we're doing is we're looking at shortcuts. The shortcuts are SSS, which stands for side, 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 SAS, which stands for side, angle, side, ASA, which stands for angle, side, angle, AAS, which stands for angle, angle, side, and then HL, which stands for hypotenuse, leg, and because that's a hypotenuse, that's only going to work in right triangles. So we're going to hone in on these 5 shortcuts because that's much more fun to solve than to do all those steps to prove all the corresponding parts. And then once we know that the triangles are congruent, we could always say, because of CPCTC, the other parts are also congruent. So in order to figure out how to use, or which one of those ways, or how to get these going, I created this plan called a triangle congruence lap, I guess would be the best way that I would refer to it. And here's the way it works. So you have two triangles, and you look at the two triangles, and you see that from one to the other, you have a side and a side, and then a second side and a second side, and a third side and a third side. I know this one is pretty easy, and you might already know which one of these ways that which one of the shortcuts would work. But let me show you how the congruence lap will work. Once you mark that you do in fact have a corresponding side, like there's one that corresponds, I'm gonna use that. Here's another one that has a corresponding side, and then here's the third one that has a corresponding side. I need to figure out which one of these shortcuts I would use by looking only at one triangle. So once I mark that I have a corresponding part in the other triangle, then I'm no longer going to look at both triangles. Okay, so now this is where the congruence lap comes in. I'm going to, on all triangles, if I'm only looking at one triangle, I'm just writing right here an angle, and right out here a side, and here would be an angle and a side, and this would be an angle, and this would be a side, right? So on all triangles you would have 3 sides and 3 angles. So this lap will always be consistent. Now what I'm going to mark on my lap is what I actually have. And so since I've already highlighted the ones that I had in common in both triangles, those are the ones that I have. When I say I have it, I mean I have it in both triangles. So on this one, I don't have that angle, I don't have that angle, I don't have that angle. The only thing I have are the 3 sides. All right. So how does the lap work? How do you know which one of these you're going to use? Well, you would start on anything that you have. So I wouldn't start on an A because I don't have it. I would start on any of the S's, and then I would go from there and start working my way around. The rule is I can have one, but I can have one in a row and keep going, but I can't have 2 in a row, 2 in a row. So in this case, if I was lapping this, I would say side, side, side. So I was allowed to keep going because I only had 1 in a row. So in this case, what I was looking at here, this is side, side, side. Okay, cool. Now, next one. So what am I doing? I'm looking, okay, I've got a 1 notch, 1 notch, that's good. I got a 2 notch, 2 notch, that's good. And I have an angle that's arced between the two, so that means I do have corresponding parts matching up. So I don't need this anymore. All right, so as I work my way around this, I'm going to have angle, my angle, side, angle, side, angle, side. I would mark all of my wheels like this, my congruence wheels, or whatever you want to call this, the congruence lap. That's the one I have. That's the one I have. That's the one I have. Don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. And then as I started on any one that I have, like let me start on this one and then just keep going this way. So I would go side, and that tells me to start over, which forces me to keep going and then start at the next side, and then angle, and then side. So this one is one of those 5 ways, 5 shortcuts, so it'd be side, angle, side. All right, so this is kind of fun to do if you get into your... So, all right, this course, our book is going to throw some tricks in there. So this problem is tricky because as I look at the 2 triangles, I see 1 and 1, and I see a 2 and a 2, but I notice that on this triangle, the angle is not the one between the 2, whereas on this one, it is the one between the 2. So remember, for triangles to be congruent, the angles or the sides, they have to be in corresponding places. So if this one isn't in the same place this one is, which it is not, then you can't call these congruent. So this is a tricky one because it has the 1, 2, 3 things that you need, but these are not congruent because the angles aren't in the corresponding places on the 2 triangles. Tricky, I know. All right, so here goes another one. I've got an angle, a side, and then I've got this angle, and then I've got that angle, which is right off the edge of the 2 mark that I have, so this looks like to me these are corresponding. So now I'm going to try my wheel. I don't need both. Remember, once I've marked it up and I know which ones I have in common, I don't need to mark it up. So I have a side, angle, side, angle, side, angle. I don't have that one. I don't have that angle. I don't have that angle, but I do have the side and the side and the angle. Okay, so this is one that always comes up every year, and we have fun with it because this one does not work for triangle congruence. It is not one of the ones. And let me tell you how you know that it's not one of the ones. If you picked up over here and you went side, side, angle, you look over here and you go SSA. I don't see side, side, angle. So you might keep going. I don't know. You might go. Let's start here. Side, angle. Okay, that's a start over, right? I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to start on this one. Let's go angle, angle, side, side. Oh, wait a minute. I can't spell that in school. Don't ever try to do this one in our school. We can't do that. So that one doesn't ever work. There's not a way to do it. And so hopefully you know how to do a congruence lap around the triangle.